Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live with Mel. When the pandemic first started, many people were put into lockdown. The entire globe was on lockdown. Many people lost their jobs. People were struggling to figure out how they were going to pay bills, how they were going to pay their rent, how they were going to put food on the table. Now, during this time, the Trump administration and Congress put policies in place in order to give the American people some type of relief. Now, again, many Americans did not know how they were going to pay their bills. So we saw the rent moratorium go in place. We saw unemployment extended, and we also saw stimulus checks coming out. Now, even though we are still in a global pandemic, many of these programs have come to an end. But one program that has still been in place is the Student Loan Relief Program. Now, this program is set to expire January 31st, 2022. Now, many people have been fighting and pushing to keep this program in the books as policy. They're trying to get an extension for this program, especially with people being worried about the Omicron variant. Now, while there are many people pushing for an extension, while people have been writing the Biden administration, President Joe Biden has decided that he will not extend the Student Loan Relief Program past January 31st, 2022, which means beginning in February, February 1st, people who have to pay student loans will be responsible for those student loans once again. Now, people are upset with President Biden, and they're upset with him for many reasons when it comes to student loans. On the campaign trail, President Biden essentially promised young Americans that he was going to cancel student debt. But many people do not like the track record that he has so far when it comes to student debt. Now, members of Congress have been calling for President Joe Biden to extend this policy. Many progressives in Congress want to see this policy extended, especially because of the Omicron variant. Many people believe that we're going to have another tough winter due to this variant, but people also believe because of Joe Biden's promises that he should extend the program until he is able to have student debt canceled. Now, again, this is one of Biden's big campaign promises, and many younger Americans, many millennials and Gen Z were looking towards Joe Biden to cancel it almost as soon as he got into office, but he has not done that yet. Now, again, the Student Loan Relief Program put a pause on people having to pay back their student loans and also put a pause on interest rates as well. And this did help a lot of American households. It did help a lot of people, a lot of millennials, a lot of Gen Z, because they didn't have to worry about paying back student loan while they were unemployed or while they were struggling in this economy. But right now we're seeing that COVID-19 is still affecting the economy in a major way. We're seeing that inflation is all-time high. We're seeing that people are still struggling to get jobs. We're still seeing that we are being affected by COVID-19, and paying back student loans can be devastating to some households across the country. Now, many organizations were pushing and fighting for President Joe Biden to once again extend this policy. 200 organizations that include the Student Borrower Protection Center, NAACP, and America's Federations of Teachers urged Biden to extend the program. And they actually sent a letter to President Biden. Now, in this letter, it stated, in fewer than 60 days, tens of millions of student loan borrowers are slated to be thrown into repayment of federal student loans. They are ill-equipped to pay as the deadly coronavirus pandemic continues to devastate Americans' health and financial security. It is clear that payments should not resume until your administration has fully delivered on the promise you made to student loan borrowers to fix the broken student loan system and cancel federal student loans. Now, again, 200 different organizations, not people, 200 different organizations signed this letter and delivered it to President Biden. And again, the NAACP, the Student Borrowers Protect Them Center, they signed this and they were urging President Biden to continue to have the student loan relief program in place and to extend it. But President Biden is very set in his ways in saying that that was the final extension and he will not be extending it past January. Now, many people, like I stated before, are very upset at President Biden. One of the campaign promises that he did have was to fix student loans, and many people believe that he is not doing anything to deal with the issue of student loans. Now, for millennials, for Gen Z, student loans are a big issue. Many people believe that the student loans that they are paying back are holding them back from moving forward in their life, keeping them from purchasing homes, and keeping them from doing a lot of financial things that they believe the older generation had the ability to do. Now, again, many students aren't necessarily upset about, or former students aren't necessarily upset about actually paying back the loan they owe, but it's also what they're calling the predatory interest rates that were put on these loans. So people, for example, people may owe $50,000 in student loans, but end up paying in their lifetime over $100,000. And there are people who have paid back the principal in full, but they still have several more years to pay back because of the predatory interest rates, because of the predatory lending that they experience. And that is one of the reasons why they're calling for the cancellation of federal student loans. Now, again, President Biden said he was going to cancel $10,000 per person federal student loans, but we still haven't seen him make good on the promise. And with him not extending student loan relief program past January, many people are seeing this as another broken promise when it comes to student loans. Now, while the Biden administration has not come out completely and canceled student loans, he has canceled 12.5 billion student loans for approximately 640,000 students. Now, these are very targeted students. So while President Biden has not done a wide cancellation of student debt, he has canceled student debts for about 640,000 students. Now, these are students who have disabilities or students whose campuses closed down for unforeseen circumstances like COVID-19. Now, again, Democrats, progressives in Congress are pushing to try and have Biden do more when it comes to student loan, especially with the student loan relief, which could possibly be extended easily. But again, President Biden is against extending it. And then progressives are also calling for him to cancel the $10,000 per student federal student loans. But again, President Biden has not done that yet. When it comes to student loans, many people believe that student loans were going to be one of Biden's first priorities. It was one of his big promises on the campaign trail, and he spoke about it. He tweeted about it. He's promised that he was going to do something to fix the student loan issue. But many people believe that he is not doing anything, if enough. Now, one thing that Biden wants to do when it comes to student loan relief, when it comes to having student loans canceled, is President Biden wants it to go through Congress. He wants Congress to pass something rather than doing it himself. But the way that Congress is set up right now, I do not believe there is a way that Congress can do it. And many people are saying that it falls back on President Joe Biden to do this. Now, again, at the moment, unless something catastrophic happens in the next several weeks, people who have student loans will begin paying them back February 1st. Now, many people are not prepared to pay them back. Many people believe that with the Omicron variant creeping back up, it can cause bigger issues, and that by allowing the student loan relief policy to end is setting people up for disaster as well. But let's go ahead and go to the comments. Now, Joanna says it's only right to push for an extension. Biden, like all others before him, make promises they know they will not keep just to get votes. And again, this is something that a lot of people are saying. They're saying that he made this promise to people, that many millennials went out and voted for him solely on this promise. And they're saying that he is not making good. He is not doing what he can. Now, again, he has canceled some student loans. He did cancel 12.5 billion student loans for people who have disabilities. But again, many people are upset at this. Now, Wade says, President Biden is a moron. He did nothing as VP and continues to worsen than nothing as president. So I'll say this about President Biden as VP and all VPs. Honestly, vice presidents do not wield a lot of power. They don't have the power to do a lot. Most vice presidents do nothing as vice president except for sit and wait and see if something happens to the current administration, or they step in when they go in for surgery. So again, this is something that's, as vice president, most people don't do much. I'm not going to comment on the other thing. Wade also says, it should be nice, though. Can't ethically make fun of a man with Alzheimer's. And I need to screen those. But my assistant producer is off, so we did not screen those comments. So Wade, lucky that comment went up. Again, many people are upset. President Biden's approval rating is at an all-time low right now for several different reasons. But when it comes to student loan relief, when it comes to student loan cancellation, one thing that is not looking good for his track record. President Biden made a lot of promises on the campaign trail. President Biden said that he was going to deal with the massive issue of student debt and student loans. Many people see Biden as not extending the student loan relief program as one of the ways that he is walking back his talks, his promises that he made on the campaign trail. While having the relief in place is not canceling student debt, it is helping a lot of people. And with the student loans holding a lot of people back, the relief was something that many people were looking forward to, especially with the state of the economy right now, with the state of inflation, with places starting to put restrictions back for COVID. We are seeing trends across the nation of mask mandates going back in place, with stricter regulations going back in place because of the Omicron variant. And because we don't know exactly what's going to happen just yet with Omicron, holding or extending the student loan relief program may be beneficial. But again, President Biden has decided against it. President Biden has also not done anything that he has promised on the campaign trail when it comes to student loans. While many people thought that President Biden was going to be a champion when it came to this issue, many people are just looking at empty promises and broken promises. In the next couple of weeks, we'll see if and how the American population is able to repay their student loans, and we'll see if and how the backlash will happen. And then let's go ahead and go to the next comments. Wade is laughing at his earlier comments, and then Wade says, low, that rating is digging to China. You know where his handlers are. And Wade is referring to Biden's approval rating. Biden's approval rating is low right now for several different reasons. But again, with the millennial demographics, with Gen Z demographics, student loan is a big deal. And it is something that swings and influences how many millennials and how many Gen Z votes. And many people right now are not happy when it comes to Biden's track record when it comes to student loans. And again, this could take his approval rating even further. But again, we just have to wait and see. I'll keep you guys updated about what happens with the student loan relief program. But as of this time, it looks as though President Biden is not going to extend it. And it almost looks like there's nothing that could persuade him to change his mind about it anyway. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mike. I'm live every single Monday to Thursday to talk to you guys about current events and let you know what's happening across the globe and right here in this great nation as well. Let me know what your comments are, what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I want to know what your opinions are. If you agree with me, that's great. I want to know if you don't agree with me, that's great as well. I want to know also. I'll see everyone bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone. This is Live with Mel.